Chris here. Thanks for joining me on the interior video for the S-Tune. Let's get this camera down a little bit. So, here's what I made earlier. I've cheated a little bit with this. So, yes, that should have been for the MCR custom advan build. So, yeah, I'm going to be using this. Now I've got the Edward photo etch seatbelts in, obviously. We've got the flocking. It looks a bit rough on the parcel shelf, I'll be honest. I'm not sure what happened there. We've detailed up the dash. We've got little plastic, clear plastic sheet in front of the. Let me just get this. Let's get this dusted. Bloody dust everywhere. Look. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, as I was saying, in front of the dials, I put a little plastic screen. Tried to detail up the dash a little bit. So yeah, I just thought, you know what? Instead of this just sitting in the box waiting for me to get around to doing the Advan NCR again, I just thought I'd use this. Some of you might think, yellow seat in a blue car. Yeah, it sounds odd, but you know, some things are worth a gamble, and I think that is definitely worth a gamble. It's a bit odd, it's a bit different, but sometimes it's good to be a bit different. What's got going for it is the blue seat belts. Obviously, they match with the bodywork. So, yeah, I think I'm going to use this, skip that massive step, and then when it comes to doing the MCR interior, obviously I'll do it again. I've got some other set of belts, Edward ones actually again, and I'll just do the interior better. So yeah, we're going to put this in there. But what I'm going to do with this video, I've got all the footage of putting that together. So I'm going to now cut and put that into this, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Like I say, this should have been for the MCR, so I might reference the MCR a few times, but like I say, it was for the MCR before I had the accident with the body shell. So yeah, this was built before the body shell accident. So I'm gonna use this now for this, and then redo the MCR interior when the time comes. So enjoy. Hey there, Chris here, and thanks for joining me on this interior episode of the Custom Advan Skyline R34. So this is it. This is all there is to the interior. So there's not. Oh, sorry for knocking the camera. There's not actually a lot going on. Parts wise, you've got your main, obviously, your main interior tub, and you've got your door cards, and you've got your things like your rearview mirror, your gear stick, your handbrake, the steering wheel, steering column, got like your little screen that goes on top of the dash, and also your dash, and we'll try and detail that up as much as I can. And then the seats, it comes with 3 seats, so you can either do both standard GTR seats, and it also comes with a race seat, this one here. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use this one, obviously for the driver. I'm going to paint it in textured yellow, because I've actually got some of these Edward photo etch seat belts from Scale Riders, and now I've been very fortunate enough to have, let me just try and reach it, acquired a diamond file for photo etch from Scale Riders as well. So a massive thank you for 65 Lokes over at Scale Riders for those. So yeah, I'm going to use that file for the first time on these photo etch parts, because obviously what you want to do is you want to try and get rid of all these little, obviously when you cut them off the contact points, you might have like a little nub left as such. So we want to get rid of them and make them as, you know, streamlined and as smooth as possible. And the good thing about these Edward sets is they are all coloured, so you don't need to paint anything, and they've got a bit of a texture to them. You know what? Let's take one out, and then I'll show you what I mean. And these packs come in packs of 2, and to be honest, they're not expensive. I highly recommend them. I've used them a couple of times before, and if you see, look, if I can get it in there, you see the texture, like a seatbelt texture. I mean, how cool is that? And again, everything is all coloured, painted. All you got to do, snip, file, glue together, and install. These are really, really good seatbelts. And again, for a packet of 2, they're not expensive at all, and it saves you a whole lot of work. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. But first, what I need to do is with the seats is the thing with these Aoshima seats is that the sockets as such where the seatbelts would go, they've all moulded in and sealed, obviously. So what you need to do is just drill them out. So my process is actually get some like blue tack, get a big ball of blue tack, stick them on the blue tack, and then get like one of my drill bits. I normally go with a 1mm and then drill in, because obviously it's quite a small area. To be honest, most of the time when I think I've got it lined up at the front, on the back it might come out slightly below, which is, and sometimes I do make a bit of a mess and it goes a little bit wonky, which is why I'm going to keep this one out as well. Hopefully I don't mess up the one and only driver's seat. So yeah, there's a little bit of work, but other than that, it's going to be pretty straightforward. The interior is going to be pretty much standard colours really. I might go for some blacks, and then obviously on the door cards you've got like these areas here, just on the door card there, and underneath I might use like I tend to go for a wine red, which is quite a nice dark tone, doesn't stand out too much, because obviously if you just use red it's going to be, for me I think it's a bit too bright. So yeah, I've got just reach over and grab it. I've got a nice, that wine red from Mr. Colour is a really nice sort of interior colour. So yeah, it's got a surface of black it all over, and then obviously mask it off, get the wine red down. Once all that's done, depending on what the finish is like, I might give it a flat or a semi-gloss clear coat just to even it out. And again, the race seat, that's going to go textured yellow because I'm going to have blue seat belts. And I will assemble both sets and put a set on each seat. So let's go get some work done. Right, back with a little update then. We've got quite busy. I'm recording this on a Saturday morning, day before when I started this episode with the interior. Got quite a lot done. So everything's been surfaced in Surface of 1500. I always do that for my interiors, for those who have not seen any previous videos. With the Surface of 1500 black, you get a nice finish. I mean, that was just one decent coat, and that will be that. And I'll work on that, and I'll detail up all the centre console dash, get all the buttons coloured and whatever else, do what I can. This is what I've done as well. So obviously the race seat, we painted it all the way up. Must have pulled some paint off when I masked it up. I'll just touch that up. So this was painted in a Mr. Colour character yellow, and then I went over it with, I don't know if you can pick it up, this is the Pro Scale Paints textured yellow. Can you just turn the torch off, see if that helps? Oh, there we go. Yes, you see, I love these Pro Scale textured paints. It just adds such a nice texture to these race seats and give it that Alcantara sort of look, and it just makes it stand out a little bit more. So yeah, that's the yellow seat done. We've also done a bit of masking on the passenger seat, the back seats and the door cards, and we laid a few coats of wine red so it's quite dark, and it's also, as you can see, let's put this torch back on. As you can see, it's got a bit of a glossy, bitty finish. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to knock it back with a coat or two of flat lacquer from Tamir. And then, so yeah, we're going to get that flat. That's that. Same door card on the other side. Passenger seat, same again. It's too shiny. I want that flatted. And then obviously the back seats. So I'm not expecting perfection when I remove all these masks, but it is what it is. I'm absolutely fine with that. Now the steering wheel, I couldn't be bothered to use liquid mask. It was much quicker just to do this. But that centerpiece, I'm going to give it a super clear coat just to make that centerpiece nice and glossy compared to the actual the handle area. And then while I'm super clearing that, I'm going to super clear the wheels. So these are very bright. Let me turn the torch off. So these were surfaced, primed in Surfacer 1500 white, and then I had a couple of coats, then a couple of coats of super white from Mr. Colour, and now I'm going to just chuck some super clear 3 UV cuts. Now I'm using the UV cut because it prevents whites yellowing. So like your white wheels, white decals, it protects it from you know, UV rays, things like that, where it could yellow certain, you know, white colours. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So my booth's all set up. My booth's running. You might be able to hear some humming. That's the water curtain in the background. I've got my mask around my neck, right, ready to pull it up. Got my glove on. My Mobius 02, clean as a whistle, ready to go. So let's get some flat and some glossy down. Right, another little update. We've done the flat clear coat on the interior bits. Now, I will be honest, unfortunately, I think I did it a bit too wet, because it's still got a little bit of shine to it, unfortunately. And you can, yeah, that in the middle. I keep knocking this camera on. That in the middle, that was from, there was like little bits of, I think overspray, or bits of red anyway. But that's just where I was trying to pick it off and then rub it, like, yeah, anyway. But from a distance, it's alright. Just don't look. Yeah, it looks alright now. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it's a bit shinier than what I expected it, but it's a little less bumpy. But at least it's a bit uniform. One thing though, I will be honest, is I'm really happy with the masking. That has come out. Oh, hang on. What's that there? Look. Oh, that's it. Yeah, see that bit there? Bit there. Yeah, so that bit there. That was like what was on the centre of the back seat. So yeah, I'm really happy with masking. So yeah, I can't complain, because to be honest, how much of this are you actually going to see once it's assembled? Not a great deal. You'll see it a little bit. I am thinking about opening the windows. I quite like having the windows open, and not only for the open windows, but when you're having to pick the car up, it's quite handy to have those when the windows are been removed. You can get your fingers kind of out under the window frames to pick and move the car about, instead of having to pick the actual car body up and get fingerprints everywhere. So yeah, I'm thinking of opening the windows. So yeah, so that's done. Just need to do the steering wheel in the clear gloss, and I need to do some little bits of detail, like for example, just around, get this in there, look, so this bit here, get some metal on that, and then it will same goes from the center console up there. You get like a little bit of a, normally it's like titanium silver, but I just do it in whatever I fancy doing. Be it like a bright aluminium or something, flat aluminium. So yeah, a little bit of detailing on the dash, get the decals on, get the flocking done. That's all dried now, so that's, I could flock that now and get that sorted, and then get the photo etch seatbelts together. So there's not really, for the interior, that much left to do. So hours about, we'll go and crack on. Right, time for a massive update on the interior. Most of it done. I say most of it is because It's just waiting on the steering wheel. So yes, today I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon. So obviously between Friday and today we've got quite a lot done. I've had a pretty free weekend as such. Obviously a few little bits and bobs here and there around the house, family and whatnot. But yeah, I've had quite a lot of time at the bench. So yeah, I've made some right good progress. Today has been seatbelt Sunday, and it's been a nightmare because it's so fiddly. I think the first belts on the left on the yellow seat, they took between an hour and a half. But obviously that was snipping each part off and then using the Tamiya diamond file, which is a hell of a tool to have in the arsenal. It really was super easy tidying up all the connection points on the photo etch, and it's just it just squared them right off right nice. And you can see they've got a little bit of movements. I have super glued some parts of the seat belts in areas. Let me just get a little pointer. So like this here, I've super glued behind there. I decided to super glue behind the seats, just to super glue them to there, so they've got somewhere to anchor to, make it look a bit more realistic that it's anchored onto somewhere. Same with the sides, they've been actually glued onto the seats themselves, and then the sides belts have just been loosely placed because you can't really see them too much. It's mainly, surface. Now let's be honest, time for Mr. Honesty. I stuck my finger to the seatbelt. So I've pulled off some of the decal, unfortunately, on the photo etch. So you can see where I've got some blue paint to touch it up and a bit of yellow to touch that up. I've put a bit of paint off there, put a bit of paint off there, touch that up. But from a distance, it's not too bad. Let's start that shaking. But I'm super happy that went with the yellow seat, because the blue belts on the yellow seat is really gonna pop on the one it's in and against the body. Let's just get the body. So it's going to look ace. Yeah, really happy with that. Yeah, happy with that. Chuffed to bits. Chuffed to bits. What else are we going to do? What else we've done, sorry. I'll tell you what else we've done. Some photo etch number plates. Now these plates from Zoom on are ace, because they are these you've got your photo etch plate and obviously your decal. So once you're using a bit of decal setter, decal softener, I use Microset Microsol, you get a really nice embossed look. Can you see it? I don't know how well you can see it on here, but yeah, there we go, look. And I think it's a really cool addition to have to these kits. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put one on the back. I actually will install one on the back of the body, but the other one, I don't want to put it on the bumper. I'm going to, you see it sometimes where, they might put the number plate on the dash. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the number plate on the dash, loose, as if it's come off. Yes, the only thing I need to do is obviously clear coat the centre of the steering wheel. But I've just, after doing all this, just detailed the wheel nuts. Obviously got the centre hub decals on as well. I found these wheels pretty difficult because the wheel nuts are very tiny, but all in all, they look alright. I used Mr. Colour Metallic Blue for the wheel nuts. So yeah, and then once the steering wheel's done, we'll get that on, and then we'll get this video wrapped up. Right, it's done. It's done. Steering wheel's on. Got that nice glossy centrepiece of the steering wheel. So yeah, the carpet's done. Painted, not the greatest. Seat belts. Dash detailed. Not the greatest, but it'll do. And from a distance you can't really tell. And obviously that screen in front of the dials up. So yeah, happy with that. And then a quick peeky at the wheels. Lovely stuff. So that's the interior done. So yeah, look after yourselves, and we'll see you on the next episode for the chassis. And then yeah, get the chassis done, and then after that we'll be on to final assembly. So yeah, take care of yourselves. All the best. Cheers.